All right, this video is sort of related to Jeeps. This is my F-150 that I used to tow my Jeep. So we're gonna do the rear diff differential oil replacement. I'm using a 75 W140 because I tow with this thing. And doing this in my neighbor's driveway because I don't have a flat spot. So I had to drive and ask for the space and just making sure I clean up. So here we go. All right, so my F-150 is an 8.8 diff cover. There's also a 9.75 that looks like the letter D, so it's a little bit different. So this should hold about a little over 2 quarts gear fluid. On the side here, I don't know if I can see it. All right, so took the fill port out first, important step. And then I just broke all the torque after removing some of those harness clips that fit on there's 3 studs that harness clips onto. So you gotta remove that first. Braking torque, man, doing this in the driveway sucks. So if you have a lift, do it on a lift. Also, probably should remove the spare tire. Makes it a little bit easier, but anyway, here we go. All right, got all the bolts out. On the ground sucks doing this, but very nice to have a lift. So I got all the bolts out, left the stud at the top in there just to hold the cover. So now I'm gonna use this little putty knife, essentially scraper, to get it to separate. It should just pour out. Oh, why do I do this? Shit. Definitely good to keep that bolt in up top. This cover's pretty heavy, so try not to get it to drop in the nasty bin. Put it in the new bin. There's that stud. There's that. Voila. Okay. Oh, you stink so bad. Nasty. Nasty. Gotta heat this stuff. One time I bought some of this stuff, and a customer returned a bottle of the gear oil, and they punctured the top, so it leaked all in the back seat. This stuff doesn't come out. It smells so bad, real bad. And when I bought some today of these little Valvoline packs, that's the first thing I checked. And the guy that was selling them, he's like, "Man, my hand's welled out." I was like, "Oh God, please don't do this again." So he looked at the bottles for the packages, whatever, and one of them was damaged. So luckily I got that switched out. So if you're ever buying gear oil, make sure it's sealed, because it sucks to get it everywhere. All right, I'm gonna clean all this crap up now. All right, get you some brake cleaner and just spray it, man. It all comes off, and then all this little residue, I'm just gonna scrape that off. Piece of cake. All right, and we're just use this little plastic scraper. So it's coming right off. So you don't really necessarily have to use a metal one to mar it. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna scrape all this crap off. All the excess RTV. Apparently the factory board uses RTV, so it's brake cleaner. I use this stuff, normal stuff, and this scraper is coming off pretty easy. Okay. All right, I worked in quality for General Motors for 10 years in aerospace, and there's no way in hell we'd allow all these little burrs on the metal surface. Man, they didn't clean any of these holes up. Ridiculous. If I was quality control, I'd be rejecting this. I will say this, if you see that little dimple next to the hole there, that means they did a hardness check on this part, so at least they did that. Something. But yeah, the burrs, man, that's not good. I don't like that, especially in aircraft building, but I guess for this differential cover, it probably doesn't make any difference, but that's just me. Now, one other thing you want to look for is any metal shavings kind of collected at the bottom, and you only got, what do I have on here? Look at the teeth. I've got about 49,000 miles on this one, and I don't know the tow history. It was a rental truck, but it looked like only one person had ever towed with it. And I've towed my Jeep since February last year, so probably got, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 miles of towing. So anyway, I'm gonna put the tow stuff in. That's 775 W140. It does call for 75 W85 which I couldn't even find at the freaking AutoZone. It's like a Ford thing. But a lot of people put, change if they're towing, it's a 75 W140, so that's what I'm going with. But I don't know, looking at the gears, I don't see any chips or anything, which is good. I'm assuming this has never been opened from the factory, so look. I gotta clean up this side. All right, it's tedious as hell. Get all that RTV off, but I did it. I used my little scraper and just, spray some rags with some brake cleaner and then wipe it, and then use the scraper. Make sure you stuff some rags inside here so it doesn't get inside the gears. This is about as good as I'm going to do. So next step is to wet install the cover. So alignment's gonna be the hard part here. I've seen some people put in some fastener studs to kind of line it up, so I might try something like that. We'll see. All right, got the cover back in. The gasket maker, so I gotta squeeze out all the way around, so I'm happy with that. Hopefully not too much on the inside. So I've finger tightened them. It says to let it sit for about an hour and then torque it. So I'm gonna torque it right now at 33 foot-pounds. And don't forget to put your 3 clips back on those studs for this harness. That's a wrap. I'm gonna let it cure overnight and then fill it in the morning. See what happens. All right, finished the test run. No leaks. Everything's good there. Some of the lessons learned, I would say, is if you can get a lift, do it that way, because laying on the ground is difficult, especially when you're trying to break the torque on those fasteners. They do get some sealant on them, so they're kind of stuck. Also, get rid of remove the spare tire if you can. I didn't do that, and it just made it more difficult. Second thing is, I used the gasket maker, and I am not a baker. I'm not a good cake designer, so I'm not very good at spreading that stuff. So if I were you guys, if I did it again, I would go get one of those pre-made gaskets that you can buy online. I think for this 8.8 differential, there's only one that I could find online, and it was okay. The third thing is when you're adding the fluid back in, my owner's manual said it's between 2 and 2.1 quarts. I had put 2 quarts in, and it still wasn't overflow. I put a little hex key in to see what level it was at, and just the tip had some fluid on it. So, but I kept adding more fluid, and I guess it kind of piles up, and it just poured out. So I lost a lot of fluid that didn't need to be that way. So just once you get to about where it's supposed to be, just slow down and measure it, and don't need to add way too much. That was the third thing. Other than that, only time will tell. Thanks for watching.